I'd like to call to order the school board meeting for Thursday, March 14, 2013. I'd like to ask Joelle Rodriguez, trustee of the 2nd District, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the American flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, could you please call roll?
Here.
Trustee Rodriguez. Present. Trustee Hill.
Here.
Trustee Winfield.
Here.
Trustee Morris.
Here.
Trustee Monroe.
Here.
Trustee Perez.
Here.
Trustee Ramos.
Here.
Chairman Gomez.
Present. I'd like to move to accept, I'd like to get a motion to accept minutes for the executive session and regular board meetings as listed under D1.
Make a motion.
Motion by Trustee Hill, second. Second by Trustee Morris. Questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rivera.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee Winfield.
Yes.
Trustee Morris.
Yes.
Trustee Monroe.
Yes.
Trustee Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Ramos.
Yes.
Chairman Gomez.
Yes. Under item D2, personnel report. Is a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
Motion by Trustee Winfield,
I second.
second by Trustee Hill. Questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rivera.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee Winfield.
Yes.
Trustee Morris.
Yes.
Trustee Monroe.
Yes.
Trustee Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Ramos.
Yes.
Chairman Gomez.
Yes. Under E, communications, we have top 22. Is that the correct pronunciation?
Yes, it is.
Girls Mentoring Program.
We are able to begin discussions with the representatives from Top 20 over a year ago regarding resurrecting this program that was in East Chicago for many years. And some of our presenters this evening on the program actually were students in that program. I won't give you the year, but they still look great, and obviously it was a great program for them. The Top 20 program is a forum provided to young girls, primarily of the teenage years, that can learn to identify and develop personal goals, both educationally, socially, behaviorally. The outcome is to enable students to make good decisions, overcome obstacles, deal with adversity, and then progress toward those specific long-range and short-term goals and objectives. Marion Hoda, who's been one of our lead people, Mildred Ball, former educator in East Chicago, who started the program and went on to become one of the Indiana High School Athletic Association athletic commissioners for a number of years. Not able to join us tonight, but Marion Hoda has served as the leader in that group and also has other representatives with her. And with that, I'd ask Marion to come forward and give you an update on the program and its implementation for the 2012-13 school year.
Well, we wondered if we should come up with Hail Noble Washington and sing some of our school song, or if we should do the top 20 step when we would go on to the court. But clearly, it's an honor for us to be here this evening and a dream come true that we have a program here called Top 22 for a generation that's beyond us, to tell you the truth, but in a way that serves them the way it served us. I'd like to introduce you to some of our board members: Deborah Williams, Janet Given, who is our treasurer, and Rita Jacques Gillis, who is our vice president. Top 20, as you know, Mildred Ball is our founder and our sponsor, and she inspired us so that as young girls we became women who were successful in their own right, who are successful in their own right. And it's because of that blending of a focus on academics, a focus on the behavior, because she was very, very firm about that with us, modeled for us what was expected of us when we represented top 20 in the community and in the school. And she looked after us in many ways like we were her daughters. And as the years have gone by, we have gotten together occasionally. Fair enough, ladies? And we have our reunions, and we go ahead and we reminisce, and we sing, and we dance, and we tell stories. And a couple of years ago, Mildred talked to us about how do we give back. And from that conversation in Indianapolis, the top 22 eventually developed and grew to be what it is today. So this year was our inaugural year. We have people that we want to thank that helped us with all the communications. Rosie Gomez, Diana Bingham, Mr. McCullum, Dr. Harding. Certainly Christian Flores has been a good contact for us. We love Tony Gillum, who helps us in terms of the custodial, because we meet over at the West Side. And we have about, I have to tell you, about 11 girls who come continuously. We've had as many as 19. We'll be recruiting again. One of our very important events was just recently. We took all the girls downtown by train, a field trip, to have a nice luncheon, but to see the Elvin Ailey Modern Dance Company, to broaden their cultural horizons, and to be with women. And many of us have sisters, we have nieces and granddaughters and friends that came along with. So there was a troop of women, young and not so young, that were together and inspired by the dancing and a show of sisterhood. Mr. Harding has already told you what our focus areas are, so it's always a combination of mentoring at the sessions and dancing, which the girls absolutely enjoy on both levels. And then we also have our board meetings very consistently as we grow this program. I'd like to have the Vice President come and say a few words, please.
Thank you, Marion, and thank you, Board, for this opportunity. I could do the school song too, but I won't, Terry, for you. It's really a pleasure to come back and to give back in this case, and the commitment from the ladies has been overwhelming and outstanding. We're not just using Mrs. Ball's name. She's here twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month with us on our Saturday sessions. We have board members who travel from Milwaukee, from Fort Wayne, from East Lansing, Michigan, from various places in Illinois and all of Northwest Indiana to come to our board meetings. The commitment level is outstanding, and all of them are doing it with a pure heart. They just want to give back something to the girls. I'm here, you all know, I live here in this community. I see the same things you see, particularly in the summer, the girls with not a lot to do. So we are really, really trying to give them something to do, give them something to focus on, give them something to aspire to, give them rewards for what they do for their participation. The 11 young ladies who participated with us have been the 11 young ladies who have been the most consistent in coming out on these Saturday sessions. We look forward to expanding the program in the coming year. We are reaching out to businesses in the city of East Chicago, industry in the city of East Chicago for additional funding. We just would like to have the blessing of the board, I believe, to continue on working with Dr. Harding, to work with you, to continue this program and to grow the program, because that's what we're really, really interested in, getting more girls, reaching more lives. Mrs. Ball left a lasting impression, and I don't think it was just on Top 20. I think it was on a lot of other girls that happened to walk through the halls of Washington between 19-something and 19-something. So she really left us a standard to live up to and to live by. I spoke with her this morning. She wanted me to give you her apologies for not making it down here this evening. She was just here over the past weekend, but she has her full mind, body, and soul commitment invested in this program and would be willing to meet with any of you to answer any questions, just as we would be willing to answer any questions you might have as well. But again, your endorsement, your blessing is really what we're looking for as we move forward into year 2 of Top 22. Any questions?
Well, not a question. as a compliment, I remember top 20 because I was a basketball player for East Chicago Roosevelt. And see, I had the opportunity to go to Washington when they were playing the games. And one of the things we weren't looking at the game. We were waiting on top 20 to come out at halftime. So it has always been an inspiration to me. And see, with them being so successful, we even started some at East Chicago Roosevelt later on, trying to mimic top 20. However, it wasn't well, it was good, but top 20 was much better. And Rita Jock, I'd never forget her coming out there. And a lot of young ladies that I knew in the top 20 that we all have relationships, we're all good friends as of today. So with that being said, you got my blessing. I'm with it all the way, and we're going to do what it takes to make it happen. Just wait. Why we waiting so long?
Good question.
So I'm glad it's back, and you got my full support.
Thank you.
And that's coming from a basketball player, not a top 20 player.
From Roosevelt. All right. Mr. Chairman, I speak.
Yes.
All right, I'm from Washington.
Yes, he is.
I'm with you, all
Hold
right?
on, hold on.
And,
Mr. Chairman, we ain't going to get off it all
but
that. I'm just,
the thing that they're putting, the thing that I like that they're putting together, they're going back to the youth and trying to give back. And
Absolutely.
we need more organizations to go back and reminisce on what helped them get through their life to try to help some of these young ones. So you truly have my support.
so I hope we can, Mr. President, I hope we can increase that number from 11 to maybe 22, because back in the days, you all had quite a few.
We actually had over 50 girls
Yes.
sign up for the program. We had an orientation. I'm sorry. 95, I'm sorry, sign up for the program. We face the same issues you all see every day.
Okay.
But we're working on strategies to build up our numbers, ways to incentivize the program. We have big dreams for the program. It's our first year, but we have big dreams. We've learned from this year. We want to approach 8th graders this year as opposed to approaching the 9th graders so that we catch them before they come into the school. But it's a good program, and word of mouth is going to help sell us as well.
And I noticed the young lady back there was doing a little tough. I can see her now in 5, 6, 8 more years going to be top 20. One sitting in the back.
22.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Well, I'm from Central High School, so class of '89. So but I commend your hard work and endurance, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I have one.
Trustee Monroe.
I know it's for young ladies, but you guys probably can use some help from men that know some of the homes and none of the kids. I would be more than happy to help you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Trustee Winfield.
I'd like to congratulate you all, and I am a East Chicago senator. So I really applaud you all with Ms. Williams and Ms. Jock, Ms. Gillis. I really hope that the parents see what you're doing with our young ladies, encourage them to come out. I would like to also, when you get everything together, have you all come out and show us what you're talking about.
Oh, we would love to do that.
Thank you.
Trustee Gomez.
Trustee Ramos.
I'd like to commend all of you ladies, especially Rita, because for
Your
all
classmates.
classmates.
Yes.
But I really want to commend you for being a positive role model for our young ladies in our community. So very often, there are tons of programs, athletic programs for the young boys or young men in our community, and we fail to address the young ladies. So I really commend each and every one of you for taking the time and the effort and making that commitment to reach out to the young ladies in our community.
Trustee Gomez.
Trustee Hill.
Can we just give him a round of applause for coming? Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent Harding, does this require any action by the board?
No, it was something that was initiated and approved by the previous board, and we made a commitment to this group. It is in direct conjunction with our strategic plan, student services, mentoring programs. So everything that we are trying to do has been supported by the top 20. That made the partnership a lot easier. We did have some conversations on some things that we couldn't do and things that they had to do on their own, but it's all worked out, and I think the results, even though it you start with a large number of hope, but you build on it. This is a building block, and so next year we'll hopefully have double, triple the numbers of kids, and success breeds success. And if you just take a look at the back of your program and you look at the people that are involved, it was often said that you give people things to do, find the busiest people you can, and then ask them to do something beyond that. And the list of these 20 women, ranging from PhDs to all kinds of positions, not here anymore, but in different states, coming back, that speaks to the overall commitment. And so we appreciate that commitment to our kids and to our families, and that's the type of relationship that the school corporation really enjoys having. So I think having periodic updates, and we wanted to do this a little earlier, but thought we'd give you a chance to get settled and then be more detailed. And at some point, maybe they'll do a reminiscent song and dance for you when all 20 can be here, or from whatever. But oh no,
Yeah,
well.
we did that in Indianapolis. Yes, we did.
Yeah, okay, well, that's
Standing applause.
probably on the web somewhere, so we'll check that out.
It's on YouTube.
YouTube.
Excuse me, we need those written in the 70s now, because a lot of these young ladies, after 72, I was a little young. I want them here from 70-something on up. At least,
We'll continue to support the program and bring periodic updates back, but basically wanted to give them a chance to see people face to face in the work they're doing. So.
Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Once again.
Next item is the East Chicago Sports Hall of Fame, Inc., and I see Mr. Dahl in the audience.
As you're aware, the East Chicago Sports Hall of Fame is located in our Central High School. It's a combination of Washington and Roosevelt, and even before then. Mr. John Dahl presently serves as one of their key people and board directors, and he's here to give a little bit about the program and request some things. Mr. Dahl?
First of all, I'd like to thank the school board for providing us with the space for the East Chicago Sports Hall of Fame. We wouldn't have it but for the fact that past support that you've given us, and hopefully in the future. Jim Platus, I think everybody knows Jim, okay? Sometimes he gets, a little round up and riled up with his words. I told him to stay away. He went to Florida. I told him to stay away. He wanted me to go ahead and continue the meeting, and I said no. We want to make a report to you tonight. First of all, we've applied for our 501c3 status. We're waiting for it. We haven't gotten it yet. We're at a crossroads, and here's why, okay? We need change, okay? A lot of you know the East Chicago Sports Hall of Fame is here because it was Jim Platus's dream. Okay, Jim's 85, okay? He wants to finish up with a couple items, okay? And then what we need to do, we know that we need to expand the board membership. We only have 3. That's not right, okay? I'm a former United Way worker. You need community support, okay? So as soon as we get our 501c3 back, we're going to modify our bylaws, and we're going to be expanding the board. It needs to be expanded, okay? We're looking for someone from the school board, okay? Someone from the athletic department, okay? Okay? And then people from the community, okay? Because this thing will die unless, it's lateraled off. Jim's at the point right now where he's got the ball here and he needs to lateral it, but he wants to keep holding on to it, as the superintendent knows when we met, and he can't do that. So I've convinced him, we'll set up this corporation, we'll get ourselves 501c3, we'll expand it, and then we'll give it to the people who could carry it on when Jim and I are gone. Let you know, for instance, if you look at the Sports Hall of Fame, there's too many old people that are hanging the pictures over there. You know that. We don't have enough young people. So I convinced Jim, this year there's 2 great athletes from East Chicago who are going to be out of school their 5th year. And our requirement is that you be out of school 5 years. We have 2 sets of inductees, legends, and then what I call normal inductees. Legends are people who are far and above anyone else. And there's going to be 2 legends who are admitted this year, Etwan Moore and Kawan Short. Okay?
Yes.
And we have to wait until after May for our induction ceremony, because that'll be 5 years after they've graduated from school. Jim said that the board might have created a committee that we can work with. I put that on the agenda. I don't know. If there is a committee, I'd like to get the names of them so we could send you things and stuff like that. If there isn't a committee, we ask that maybe one be set up. I don't intend for you to act upon that tonight. Report that both Roosevelt and Washington received filming of the 70 and 71 undefeated teams within the last month, wasn't it, Superintendent? And so what we've done, and Principal, I'm sorry, we're very happy that they recognized those 2 teams. I think there's going to be a showing of some of that film in the Hall of Fame in Indianapolis. Okay, there is one, and it's been on TV, and we're really proud of the fact that they came back and recognized East Chicago, Indiana, and both sides of town for what those particular teams and leaders have done. Finally, and I won't get into it, at the bottom of my outline are the requests that Jim has. We could work with the committee or something on those. I don't intend to do that, to deal with those things tonight. We're very proud of the school board and what it's done. Okay. There's a lot of people who don't know about the Hall of Fame, but it's there, and we want to expand it, okay, to honor those people, okay, who after the old time set, we've been honored. But there are a lot of people post-1980, 78, that need recognition. And so we want to expand our board, include a board member, athletic department people, okay, and a community, so that we can hand off something that will last after Jim passes and I passes and you pass and we're all gone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Dole. The next item is superintendent recognitions and announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. As you are aware, our community is aware, in 2009 and 10, our high school, Central High School, was cited as one of the 23 potential schools in significant deficit after a period of 8 years of not meeting academic standards with the Indiana Department of Education. In 2010, the transformational model was developed at the high school to address those issues. Just recently, a number of reports came out, the annual report from the state, and also the graduation rate came out from the state of Indiana. And that since that was on the increase, an increase for us, we wanted to take an opportunity to just review some of the other things that have happened since 2009-10 that assisted in getting the school off of probation. In fact, the year that they came off probation, they had the highest performing increases of any other of the 23 schools. So with that, we've asked Mr. McCullum to review some of the information you've previously seen, but we thought it was important that the community have a chance to see some of these informational items that shows where we are at the present time compared to where we were.
auditorium or in the cafetorium today. As the superintendent mentioned, and as you heard in our presentation the other night, I'm not going to keep you here for an hour. Just a brief overview of some of the data that we want to share with you that highlights the accomplishments that have been made at Central High School since 2010. And one of the things I want to start off with, you can go ahead and cue the next slide. We have put in place programs, processes that were required by the state as part of our turnaround plan or our transformational model, including the early college, middle college, and a focus on career pathways. And some of the data that I'm going to share with you tonight includes our increases in our early college programming, our increase in also middle college, the increases in data that we have to report out to the state, and the state gives back to us to determine our overall A to F grade. So as you can see on this slide here, just going over to the table, the number of students that we have, and this is pertaining to early college, the number of students who represent each program are each one of those categories from year to year. This year we have approximately 384 students who are in the early college program. And to distinguish the difference between the early college and middle college, our students from the time they become freshmen are programmed in the early college to be honor students, AP students, or dual credit. They'll take those courses through their 4 years at Central High School. Not to say that the middle college students don't have an opportunity for dual credit or advanced placement opportunities, but by default, if you are in early college by the time you start as a freshman, then you will be taking courses that gear you to be AP and dual credit students by the time you're a junior in high school. So our idea or our goal is by the time our students who are juniors walk into high school their junior year, they're taking a number of courses either at IUN, through Purdue North Central, Purdue Cal, or now with our new partner, Cal College. So this year we were able to see a larger increase because this year our juniors, this is our first year with them being with us for 3 years, so we're seeing a higher number of those students being able to take advantage of the dual credit and advanced placement courses that we have. This slide here is just an example of the offerings that we have. When we came in 2009, we had basically only 2 AP courses that we were offering. Now we're up to 8, and then we have a host of different courses that we're now able to offer our students because of our partnerships with those universities that I mentioned. And these are some of the courses that you see that our students are taking at IU Northwest. Public speaking, which is something that we would like to bring down to the high school, but at this point a large number of our students are taking advantage of that course. And just as a reminder, the courses that our students are selecting are pretty much locked on an afternoon time slot. Our students take their core classes in the morning, and then in the afternoon with IUN, we put them on a bus and they take those courses that would be available at the 1 o'clock time slot. And then at the end of the day, or at the end of that course, they are brought back to the central campus. And at this time, we have several students who are taking more than one course. The first year, we limited to just students being able to take one course at a time, and this year we have several students who are taking several courses. Once again, Purdue Calumet. Last year, we had a lot of our students, half of our students, the 150 that were leaving campus, go to Purdue Cal. The other half were going to IU Northwest. This year, we didn't have an opportunity to send our students to Purdue Cal, but now we're in the process of trying to build that partnership back up. If you've read the paper, there are a lot of universities around the state that are cutting back in terms of trying to see how the costs are going to affect them in offering those courses, but in terms of Purdue Cal, we should be able to restore that partnership. Cal College, we have several students, or I shouldn't say several, at least 6 students who catch the bus twice a week to take advanced science courses at Cal College. And then Purdue North Central. Purdue North Central is the largest purveyor or school that offers dual credits to basically all the high schools here in Northwest Indiana. So if a high school in this part of the state is offering dual credit classes, more than likely they have a partnership with Purdue North Central. And we have several course offerings that we're able to offer with our students with Purdue North Central. This past Tuesday, we had a conference with SEL. We're trying to be one of the few early college or recognized early college programs in the state. some of you, or you all should have received an invitation. I know, thank you, Coach Monroe. Ms. Jagger was very appreciative that you were able to make it. But she's working hard, very hard, Lydia Jagger, our Director of Early College, to ensure that our school is recognized, or our district is recognized, as only the 4th early college school in the state. And from the report that we got out from those representatives that came that day, they're very pleased, and they're pretty much going to set a date with us, I believe, in May to come out and present their findings of whether or not they are going to recognize us as an early college school, one of the 4. This slide here is very important. It's one of the things when we bring our parents in the fall that we try to promote, and we also try to get it to sink into our students' heads in terms of the tremendous cost that college brings them. And this slide here pretty much shows the savings that our parents have gained because of the amount that we are able to save by offering dual credit with our students. So last year, or I should say in 11-12, $30,000 in total savings to our students and parents, and this year, $40,000. A lot of our students are now, especially the ones who are coming back who've been in the program, can appreciate the fact that they're walking out of the door with several credits in their pocket, which means several $1,000s that they're saving. And the same thing with our parents, who really appreciate the fact that we can offer them these opportunities, 11th grade, 12th grade, and ideally with an opportunity to even be able to receive an associate's degree, which is our end goal or our vision for the majority of our students by the time they graduate from high school. And in terms of the middle college, as I mentioned before, early college, our students are by default taking honors courses, eventually AP and dual credit classes. Those are not the high of the high students. We don't say if a student has a 2.0 or a 2.5 that they can't be in early college. There's an application process that they have to fill out to go through that, teacher recommendation and so on. But by default, those students who are not early college are then middle college students. And these are the students, which we have approximately 900 students who are part of middle college, and Claudia Drager is our director for that. Those students, as it says there, we focus on the pathways. Some of them, or many of them, need some type of support or intervention, whether it be math and English, which we have many of them in this year. By default, they're in 2 blocks of math and 2 blocks of English, so that we can support them to be ready when they take their ECAs. Some of them will take it this spring in a couple of months, and then some of them we're preparing for them so they are ready by the time they take it by the end of their sophomore year. These are the available pathways that we have at the high school, and this is the way it's been set up for the past 2 years. And our goal is to make sure that each one of those different pathways that we offer to our students, that persons who are in those positions providing the students the instruction are certified so that when the students are at the end of that course or pathway, they can take whatever certification test is necessary so that they are certified. And we've been able to do that this year through partnerships with Vincennes and Ivy Tech, so that those pathways, and we move further away from the 2010-11 school year where we were just rushing to try to get our probation. Last year we were really able to sit down and say, okay, if there are CTE teachers, what pathways do we want to offer, and how are we going to place students in these different areas. And this was what it looked like last year in terms of the number of students that we had enrolled in courses that would lead them to possible certification, and next slide, which was 698. This year, we're up to 939 students. So basically all the students from our junior and senior and also sophomores are taking advantage of some course offerings within those pathways. So with the middle college focus and CTE focus, once again, we want them to choose a pathway, provide them with courses that will lead them to a certification or some type of university education. One of the things that we did in line with the district is that we put together a strategic plan. I have actually, now that I'm looking out here, a couple of our staff members who were part of our strategic planning committee to put together the mission, the objectives, and also our tactics for the building. And it's interesting that Top 20 was here today. as we look at some of the things as a school that we want to do to support our students academically, socially, emotionally, which is a very big need for our students, especially as we see them coming in from the middle school area to try to transition into high school. And we're really working hard this year with our freshmen, our social workers, some of our community partners to keep them on the right track, keep them on the right path as they matriculate through the high school experience. But our main objectives at the high school, we want students to be able to graduate. We want them to be prepared for college and careers, so that means that they, at least when they leave our high school, they have some type of certification or a way to get a certification, or they have a college credit. Now, last year, the seniors that graduated, over 40% of them earned some type of college credit before they graduated. And also, we want them to be engaged, and that's the big piece when we talk about the social needs of our students. Providing them with courses, which we're going to put in place next year, a careers exploration course for our freshmen, which will be mandated. It will be one of our direct electives, so that we see and we talk to them about college and career a lot, but they don't necessarily see it. So there's a lot of work that's going to be going on with our CTE department to make sure that our students who are freshmen, by the time they're juniors, can take advantage of those pathways that we're leading to a certification. One of the highlights that the superintendent kind of pointed out in terms of improvements over the last 2 years, this is the Core 40 non-waiver diplomas. Over the last several years, you can kind of see a wave, but in 2010, you saw a large increase to 60%. And then last year, the seniors that just graduated in 2012, 66% of them were able to receive a Core 40 diploma without a waiver, meaning they passed both parts of their ECA and they met all the requirements necessary by the state to receive a Core 40 diploma, which means, according to the state, that they were college and career ready. The overall graduation rate also has improved over the last 2 years, and also the number of students who have graduated has increased. And I sent out a message to our teachers the other day about appreciating things that happen good for go well for the high school. And this is one of the things that, especially our teachers that are seniors and some of our social workers and guidance people, our director of early college and middle college, parents, really should be proud of that number as we look at what we're doing to try to increase the number of students who walk across the stage, once again, who are receiving a Core 40 diploma, who are receiving any type of diploma. As one of the things we put in place when we came into the high school is that we basically eliminated social promotion. We had thousands of diplomas, or we still have thousands of diplomas that are in a vault at the high school because we allowed students to go across the stage for the ceremony who hadn't earned the right to graduate. So one of our changes in our policies that we saw really make an impact the first year in the 2010-11 school year was that students realized, we can't walk across the stage unless we actually have earned all the credits that we're supposed to. And the same thing happens for the 2011-12 school year. And those teachers really working and staying on those students to make sure that they had the credits that they needed. The meat of our overall grade for the A to F model is our ECA results, English and math. I want to point out, as you can see, the trend over the last several years, especially last year. In English, we did an outstanding job. Our teachers over the last 2 years, English teachers have worked very hard, worked very well as a team to, on a weekly basis, meet on their own time and then sometimes on our time to make sure that their planning, common planning and assessments are in line so that they can see on a week-to-week basis what they need to reteach or what they need to enrich. And the same thing with our math, our Algebra 1 team, and that also extends down the block. Both of the Algebra 1 and English 10 teachers have worked very hard over the last 2 years to ensure that these numbers consistently improve, and we have no doubt that it'll continue to improve this year. So I just want to once again point out the impact that the plan has made over the last 2 years, and as I see several of our teachers out here today, I want to thank you once again for the hard work that you put in to make sure that these rates increase. Thank you.
Trustee Hill. Sure.
Excuse me,
Mr. McComb?
I have a couple of questions. First one, you being an educator, you know, you got the 4 W's. Who, what, when, where, and several times in your presentation, you indicated several students, several students, several students.
Yes.
We as a board, we want the name of those students who are attending, what their courses are, when they go, and where they are going.
We can do
So
that.
that means, because therefore, we would like to know if the information that you're providing to us is correct. Because me being an educator as well, and working for Work One, that's what we do. We just don't say, our clients, our clients, our clients. We have to give names. So we would like you to present those names, the individuals who are doing what, so therefore, we can make sure the cross-reference is correct. That's all I'm asking.
Trustee Monroe?
Mine's broke, so I'm using this one here. I was at that event, and I really would like to commend them because I got a true understanding of what you guys are really doing. And I think we probably, most likely, will be that 4th school because the state was very impressed. But the thing I got out was the passion that the kids have doing this. And when you get young people with a lot of passion in what they're doing, they're going to succeed. But we have something good here in Chicago. And there are some things that we need to tweak or this and that, but this program, I will stand with it because I got a true understanding of it, and I commend you and your teachers again.
Mr. President?
Trustee Perez?
I would just like to say, as being a teacher in a school, that sometimes looking at numbers, you think 57% or whatever, oh, they're doing horrible. But it's from where you started and how you're growing, and I can see that obviously the trend is moving up and it's going in the right direction. So I'd like to say that I'd like to commend you for your hard work.
Trustee
And-
Hill?
Yeah.
I also like to commend you. However, I just need to know the names and what's going on. Where, the 4 W's, that's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr.
Keep
President,
up the good work.
Trustee Rodriguez?
again, I'd like to commend you as well. I think this is a great opportunity for the parents to really acknowledge their kids and taking advantage of college credits while they're in high school. If you have a child, and I think myself and Trustee Kenny Monroe, we had an opportunity to meet a parent who her child was going to Central High School, honor roll kid. But when I told her about this early college opportunity, she was like, "Where do I sign up?" You know, it's a great opportunity because here you have a child, senior, about to graduate with 35 college credits. I mean, and it's free.
Yes.
It's a great opportunity for our citizens, for our parents to really take advantage of this, and I want to commend you for that, for really bringing this opportunity to East Chicago Central.
Thank you. And if I
Superintendent Harding?
could, sorry, Mr. President, if
Sure.
I could, I would just, once again, we invited Coach Monroe to come out, and I know, once again, we invite any of you to come by, and if any time you want to come in and talk to the teachers and also the students who are part of that program who are going off to the colleges and how they're doing, I know they would have no problem discussing that with you. Okay? So that's an open invitation anytime you want to stop by the high school.
Mr. President, I would have made it, but I had other engagements at work where I had some other important meetings I had to
I
make,
understand.
which was out of the area, because I really wanted to attend that, but I was sorry that I wasn't able to attend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
One other recognition, if I may.
Sure.
This year, the boys and girls track team is participating in an indoor track and field in the state of Indiana. And it's been going on for a number of years, but we have increased interest developed by our coaches and our kids. And some of our past successes the past few years, they competed at a regional meet recently at Purdue University, and some of these individuals will be going on to the state finals meet coming up in Wesleyan University in Marion, March 16th, which is Saturday. We have a couple of young people. We have about, I think, 16 or 17 young men and women going, which is a tremendous amount for indoor season. Kenneth Lloyd, who was a state finalist last year in the high jump, placed sixth in the long jump. He won the high jump, had the state best time, qualifying time, so we're looking for great things from that young man in the spring. The 800 relay of some 5 students, 4 in an alternate place 5th, or state qualifier. And I'll give you this in the writing, and then also state qualifiers in the 4x200 and 4x400 relay. And we had a women's relay team for the first time qualify as well. So I want to congratulate Coach Phillips and all of his staff for their work in coordinating those efforts and trying to get kids to do things in the off season. It's another one of those things that go beyond the course of the day and their commitment in the spring sports. So we'll give you back results, but we'll send you these individual names to be recognized as well. So.
Thank you. Trustee Monroe.
Just to piggyback on a little bit, we missed a bit. Mr. Lloyd is number 1 in the state right now, ranked. And all those kids that he named are ranked in the state, okay? Then as a team, they're ranked. That hasn't been done in a while. So I would like to applaud Coach Maurice for doing that. That shows the hard work that he's doing and putting together. And he also puts his own newsletter together to put out in the community. But those kids that he's just talking about, all those kids are ranked in the state within the top spot to the 5th, the 6th. But that's a blessing here in East Chicago that show that all that track that we put up and all that out there is working. That's a good job.
Superintendent.
One other announcement. Earlier this year, the calendar had the graduation date for the high school during the week, and just so that you're aware, that's been altered back to Sunday, June 16th at 2 o'clock, which is the normal time. So to dispel any further confusion, graduation will be Sunday, June 16th at 2 o'clock at Central High School. That's all I have, Mr. Gomez. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Moving on to business, F1 is recommendation for approval of professional development request by Dr. Larson. Is there a motion to accept those?
I motion.
I second.
Motion by Trustee Perez, second by Trustee Hill. Questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rivera.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee Winfield.
Yes.
Trustee Morris.
Yes.
Trustee Monroe.
Yes.
Trustee Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Ramos.
Yes.
Chairman Gomez.
Yes. Next item, recommendation for approval of donation from the Order of AHEPA to Lincoln Elementary, Laura Hubinger. Is there a motion to accept this recommendation?
Make a motion to accept. Second.
Motion by Trustee Hill, seconded by Trustee Morris. Questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rivera.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee Winfield.
Yes.
Trustee Morris.
Yes.
Trustee Monroe.
Yes.
Trustee Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Ramos.
Yes.
Chairman Gomez.
Yes. There's a recommendation from Ms. Hubinger for approval of donation to Central High School Extracurricular Club. Motion to accept.
Make a motion to accept.
Motion by Trustee Morris,
Second.
second by Trustee Monroe. Questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rivera.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee Winfield.
Yes.
Trustee Morris.
Yes.
Trustee Monroe.
Yes.
Trustee Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Ramos.
Yes.
Chairman Gomez.
Yes, there's a recommendation for approval of a donation to Franklin Academy by Ms. Hubinger. Motion to accept this.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
It's a motion by Trustee Ramos, second by Trustee Winfield. Is questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rivera.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee Winfield.
Yes.
Trustee Morris.
Yes.
Trustee Monroe.
Yes.
Trustee Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Ramos?
Yes.
Chairman Gomez?
Yes. There's a recommendation for approval of a memorandum of understanding between the Carnegie Arts Center and East Chicago Central High School by Mr. McCullum. Is there a motion to accept this?
Make a motion to accept.
Motion by Trustee Ramos, seconded by Trustee Winfield. Is there a question? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Hill?
Yes.
Trustee Winfield?
Yes.
Trustee Morris?
Yes.
Trustee Monroe?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
Trustee Ramos?
Yes.
Chairman Gomez?
Yes. Next item, recommendation for approval of phone system maintenance contracts submitted by Laura Hubinger. Motion to accept.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion by Trustee Monroe, seconded by Trustee Rodriguez to accept the recommendation. Is there questions?
Excuse me, Mr. President.
Trustee Hill?
Trustee Hill, not Mr. Rodriguez.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It might sound the same.
The second was by Trustee Hill.
Maybe speak Spanish.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Rivera?
Absolutely.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Hill?
Yes.
Trustee Winfield?
Yes.
Trustee Morris?
Yes.
Trustee Monroe?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
Trustee Ramos?
Yes.
Chairman Gomez?
Yes. Final item, number 7, recommendation for approval of agreement with CS&C for basic network maintenance. This is submitted by Ms. Hubinger. Recommendation, motion to accept.
I motion.
Motion by Trustee Ramos.
Second.
By Trustee Perez, seconded by Trustee Ramos. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rivera?
Absolutely.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Hill?
Yes.
Trustee Winfield?
Yes.
Trustee Morris?
Yes.
Trustee Monroe?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
Trustee Ramos?
Yes.
Chairman Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. President,
Trustee Hill?
maybe we need to get a podium so we can look through both sides here. Okay, that's just a thought.
Thank you. Next item is due process appeal procedure. Indiana Code 20-33-8-19F. Superintendent Harding, can you address
Thank you,
this?
Mr. Gomez. Yes. In the state of Indiana, driven by Indiana Code, each school board must adopt a ruling either to hear or not to hear appeals by students and parents who have gone through the required due process expulsion procedure. Without outlining that procedure, basically a student is suspended, eventually recommended for expulsion for a violation of a severe rule or code. A hearing examiner is appointed, and then ultimately a decision is made whether to support the recommendation by the building principal or not. At the end of that process, if it is determined that a child is found guilty of the infraction, their expulsion then would be either for a semester or for the year. The parents then have a right to appeal that process to the governing body. By statute, the governing body has to decide whether or not to hear an appeal, and if they vote to hear an appeal, they must hear all appeals from that point forward, or they can choose not to hear the appeal, and thus the decision of the hearing examiner, which is an independent decision from the school corporation, basically is supported, and then the appeal process is afforded to the family to move into the courts if they so choose. So at this point, this is one of those needing to take care of business items as a board, because we are coming upon the time where you may be facing appeals or expulsions, and you need to decide as a governing body to either vote to support hearing appeals or vote not to.
And Superintendent, this is only for this school calendar?
School year, right.
School year, which would be ending?
June, well, for students, it would end through summer school, so I would say by June 30th.
Okay.
Or July 1st, I think.
July 1st. Attorney Lesniak, could you address the issues here and how the board should address this?
turn this off. Back on. There, I turned it back on. The superintendent has outlined what the statutory procedure is. Basically, you need to make a decision whether you want to hear all appeals or whether you choose not to hear any of the appeals for the rest of the school year, which would be until July 1st. Then you'll make that decision again at that point. This does not, if the board were to say, no, we do not want to hear the appeals, it does not prevent parents from appealing to a superior court in Lake County and have the judge review the proceedings at that point. It's a decision that the board has to make. I have no recommendation one way or the other.
I'd like to ask someone on the board to make a motion to either accept or deny. What would be the proper procedure? Motion, I'm sorry.
The motion would be either a motion to not hear appeals or a motion that we will hear appeals. Either one.
Floor is open.
I make a motion not to hear him.
There's a motion not to hear the appeal procedure by Trustee Hill.
Second.
And there's a second by Trustee Rodriguez. Is there a discussion? The motion again is to not hear the appeal procedure by Trustee Hill, seconded by Trustee Rodriguez. Roll call, please.
Trustee Rivera.
Yes, I want to hear him.
I'm sorry.
No, then.
Again, I'm sorry, Attorney Lesniak, can you explain what a yes and no vote means here?
Okay. A yes vote would be that you do not want to hear the appeals. A no vote would be against the motion.
I'm against the motion. So it's a no.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Don't want to hear the motion. Don't want to hear it.
That's
That's a yes. That's a yes.
Trustee Winfield.
Yes.
Trustee Morris.
No.
Trustee Monroe.
Yes.
Trustee Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Ramos.
Yes.
Chairman Gomez.
Yes. Motion is passed 7-2. The next item is public forum. I'll ask again Secretary Winfield to read the names of the people who have signed up to address the board. And Trustee Hill, please, if you could keep time.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
And first of all, I'd like to commend those who attended the meeting last week. Everybody respected the 3 minutes, and I wish that continues today. Thank you.
We ask that you state your name and address as you come to the podium. First is Greg Pileski. Greg Pileski. John Doe.
Excuse me, Mr. President.
Yes.
Mr. Lesniak, can you...
Okay. All right, this is the time of the meeting. This is the public forum section. This is the time for the patrons who have signed up to address the board and state your comments or your concerns. It is not a question and answer period. There's a time limit on this. The fact that the board does not respond to you immediately does not mean that they haven't heard what you've said. There are notes being taken, and if responses are required, the administration will make the responses within a timely manner.
Juan Andrade.
Juan Andrade, 4005 Elm Street here in East Chicago, Indiana. As I was looking at the screen here, I seen that it was explained that the Central High School has a mission and objectives. Do our middle schools have a mission and objectives? Do our elementary schools have a mission and objectives? If we're looking at numbers and evaluations and everything else, among our elementary schools, for example, is there an elementary school that stands out among the others that could be a model for the rest of the elementary schools? Because that may be the case. Let's take a look at everything. We need to look at all the data. What does it take to, here's another thing, how many students that graduate from the East Chicago school system that go on to college, how many students actually graduate from college, or how many drop out? How many students that start high school and graduate, how many students that start high school drop out or get expelled? There's a lot of data out here. Throughout the years, there's major issues regarding the East Chicago school system. You as a board have a major responsibility. The superintendent has a major responsibility. The parents have a major responsibility. The community has a major responsibility for our students. So I am not a parent, but I'm involved, and education is a big area that needs to be addressed, that affects a lot of areas, including economic development, including the police and the jails. There's a lot of things that are connected to education. And so, as a host of Nuestra Comunidad Northwest Indiana, we are using our program to do a lot of programs that have to do with education. So this Saturday coming up, one of our guests is going to be Guillermo Z. Lopez. Guillermo Z. Lopez is the chair of the National Hispanic Caucus of the school board members. So he will be one of our guests on our program today, followed by the executive director, Tom J. Genzel, who is the executive director for the National School Board Association. So they will be calling into our program this Saturday, and we're going to be dedicating a lot of our programs that have to do with education. So if we go back in time a little bit, what does it take to increase the numbers for our students to graduate from high school? That's improving our middle schools. Go back one more time, improve our elementary schools. And you know what we need in East Chicago? We need good quality preschools. We have not full-day kindergarten. We need good quality preschools and follow the line straight down up until high school and into college. So, thing is, the majority of the money that goes for the East Chicago school system needs to be spent over here. The majority of support staff and teachers and everyone else needs to be over here so that we can follow the line all the way through. Thank you.
Thank you. Pastor Howard.
Good evening to the school board and to all that are here today. My name is Reverend Cedric Howard. I pastor the Goodwill Baptist Church on Indianapolis Boulevard. I am here to invite you to a community event that I believe that will be a blessing and a needed forum for our community. The Twin City Ministers Alliance, newly reformed, we have a new objective, and we have a new vision for what we do and how we partner with the community. We are having a revival, a citywide revival during Holy Week, which will start on the 25th of March and will end on Good Friday. You should have letters. I delivered letters to your office today with each of your names on it. And we just believe that this is going to be a great event for our community. We met with the mayor today, and he has pledged his support. Each night of the revival, we have set aside a time for different entities in city government. On the first night, for example, we have the mayor and his cabinet. He will be there along. He's pledged some 15 department heads will be in attendance, and he would greet the community at that time. On the next night, Tuesday night, we have the school board, superintendent of schools, teachers, and anyone that is affiliated with the educational process of our community. We will have a time set aside to where someone on the board will address the constituents that's there. We have put out some 5,000 pluggers in the community announcing this event and who would be there on specific nights. And again, I just think it's going to be a great event. It has nothing to do with politics. It has all to do with bringing our community together as a whole, to bring unity to our community. We've reached out to every area of our community. We've reached out to the legislative branch. We've reached out to the executive branch. And now we are reaching out to those of you who are educators in our community. So again, we are looking forward to a a great turnout, and it would just be real good for our community to see our educators there on your specific night, and for someone in the group to address those that are there. So I hope to see you. God bless you, and thank you for this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nancy Dunn.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Dunn, 2043 Lincoln Avenue, Hammond, Indiana. I'm standing here in front of you to, first of all, commend you all for becoming part of our school board. I also want to thank Mr. Monroe for stopping by McKinley Elementary School, introducing yourself. We'd like to open the doors and give you all that opportunity to come out and talk to the teachers, talk to the paras, talk to the cafeteria staff, talk to the maintenance staff. Let them know you're coming first, and then kind of talk to them and really get a feel for what's going on in East Chicago, what's going on in your elementary schools and your middle schools. We hear a lot about the high school, and in the last few years we've lost a lot at the elementary level. No volleyball, no track, no cheerleading, no drama, no art, no dance, no track. There's nothing here to motivate these students. Yet, every other week, no, maybe not every other week, every other day, we're assessing something else. When you talked about numbers earlier, look at the numbers. Look at how many assessments your kindergarten babies are taking. Look at the assessments your second and third graders are taking. Which one is important? Let the children know so that they could excel on that one test. Not take 20 different little tests because someone's piloting something, or someone's giving something away for free, or someone's paying someone to have the children take it. We need to stand up for our children. Thank you for agreeing to have workshops with us. We're looking forward to that. They relayed out the streets around McKinley Elementary School. Indy 500. Please, we need speed bumps. We need the alley filled in before someone breaks their neck or worse, and probably speed bumps back there. No one knows which way anyone's going, but I'll tell you one thing, out front, there's no cars there after school, but as soon as they take the barricades away, they're 2 and 3 across. So please, look at the numbers, and thank you.
Thank you.
Bert Flores.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Bert Flores. I live at 4842 Magoon Avenue, and I also am the president of the Concerned Citizens of East Chicago. Thank you very much for coming to McKinley Elementary. We asked for the board to go to the different schools and different districts, and you're doing that. Thank you. You all need to see the different issues that each school has. And as you've seen, teachers asking you for support. That's what's needed. You know, whether it's your constituents or your staff, everybody needs your support. So, thank you. thank you also for coming out. I had a conversation with some of you, and at least you guys had an opportunity to take a look at what I was talking to you guys about, so thank you for that. Real quick, I'd like to say something. The last 2 weeks before graduation, there were only 100 graduates. How did we increase the grad rate to 75%? Smoke and mirrors? The community does not believe this. And at a cost to whom is making these administrators look good will this cost? That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Wayne Josby.
I'm Wayne Josry, 2511 Walnut Lane, Hobart, Indiana. I'm Science Department Chair at EC Central. I'm also second VP of AFT 511. Usually you hear me with a couple concerns, but tonight I come here with some congratulations and praises. First, the 9 individuals up there. You guys have really shown a professional aspect. I know we're not supposed to, bring names in, but I wish to thank you for your dedication. I know Coach Monroe knows me from sports. Several of you have been with me. I wish to congratulate you, getting a group of 9 together and making this a well-oiled machine, as I call it. Second, I come here with congratulations to the Science Olympiad team. They took second place in the regional, and tomorrow at noon, they're leaving for Bloomington. I think this is And I know sometimes we're at odds with administration, but Mr. McCullen, my science teachers, all the teachers at Central High School, and especially the students. I wish the school board would get a group letter together congratulating the hard work of the coaches, and especially the students, because that would look good in their resume package for college. And I do thank you for your support. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great evening.
Thank you. Dieta Wright.
Dieta Wright, 9710 Monroe Street, Crown Point, Indiana. I'm a teacher of 23 years at EC Central. So I'll be speaking on behalf as a veteran teacher. And also, I'm a mother of a daughter who's a senior at Purdue University. So I'll be speaking from my mother's point of view. My biggest concern at EC Central is the no-grade policy. I teach the middle college, which represents about 75% of the students. From my experience, the in-grade policy has created a culture of irresponsibility, failure, and procrastination. For example, the students that I teach who are less motivated than the early college students, their main line is, I don't have to do this because you have to give me an N to make it up. Because the in-grade policy states that a kid can get an N and they can make it up when they feel like it. Usually we say in about a year. That's the last I heard the policy was you can make it up within a year. As a parent and a teacher, I have serious concerns with that because we are not preparing our kids for the 21st century. Teachers in middle college experience on a daily basis constant failure. We experience absentee problem. For example, we have students that miss 25 and 30 days, and their comment is, you have to give me the work to make it up. Then the students who are seniors, they will come a week before graduation and ask for makeup work. I'm glad I don't teach seniors. Graduation rate wouldn't be that high. So, the in-grade policy also, students who feel as though the in-grade policy is just simply I'll do it when I get ready to, or if I don't want to do it, I'll just use the magic credit recovery. Oh, that's the credit recovery program when you take a course and in 2 days you can get a credit, when most kids have to sit in class for 90 days to get that same credit. As a parent, I would have a problem with that. As a teacher, I have a problem with that. Now, ultimately, we do want to increase the graduation rate, but the graduation rate should reflect kids knowing the standards that the teachers have taught. So when they either go to college or go to the workforce, they're prepared. When we have the in-grade policy, we say, you do it whenever you want to. It teaches the kids that there's no such thing as deadlines. I'll do it when I get ready to. What job can you have when you can tell your boss, I got you. I'll do it later. I don't know any job as such. So if we want to create lifetime learners, the in-grade policy does not exist. By the way, get a hold to this one. In May 3rd, 2010, Lake Central ended their policy. In fall 2010, we mandated it here in East Chicago. If you go to the newspaper, you'll find it. I researched my stuff before I came up here. So ultimately, I think that we should look at this in-grade policy. This in-grade policy is not a policy that's going to produce the type of 21st century students that we need, because ultimately it fosters a sense of entitlement, procrastination, inability to meet deadlines, unrealistic understanding of how the real world works, lack of skills and knowledge. Because if a teacher is forced to give a kid just a worksheet to make up their credit, have they learned the standards? I don't think so. Would I want my daughter to go to a school and she has an English class? Part 2, next board meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Wright.
Esperanza Ramirez.
Hello, board members. How are you? It's Esperanza Ceja Ramirez and 4240 Old Cotton in Chicago. Just kind of want to recap real quickly about what I mentioned last session that I was here about trying to make sure we try to get more teachers and more tutors to help out, as I see it's helping here, which I appreciate. But I also see that there is approval of some funding, and I want to find out if, in fact, if it's for tutors or if it's for additional teachers, because, like I said, Franklin and Block are in serious danger. I mean, I don't know how many more years we're going to need to prove that Franklin and Block just aren't producing the numbers or the results, the state requirements. As you know, they're both F-grade schools. And what I'd like to find out is if this donation of Franklin Academy, is that going to continue the following year? Or are you still going to take into consideration what I was talking about, hopefully sending back at least the 5th graders to the elementary school so that way they can continue that break and they can be consistent with outer districts? One other thing that I wanted to mention is about the voucher program. I didn't mention to you what the maximum amount could be that for a student to be transferred out of here. I have here paperwork that I can share with you, so you'll have it, and you know that I'm not making this up. School City of East Chicago, 90% of the tuition, if they qualify, if the person and the parents are no longer working, it's at least $6,918.87. 50% of that, if the person qualifies and they're out of the district and move into an outer district, is $3,843.81. I don't know if I'll share with you later. And I also want to find out what the grading system will be this year as far as what each school will grade. Like I said, the Franklin are F-grade schools. I want to find out, because this will be the 3rd year in a row, and after this, then we definitely have to find out what's going to happen. Is there going to be another restructuring put in place or not? So I'm concerned. Another thing, too, is I want to let you know that I didn't share last time because I was short on time, is that obviously, as you know, for example, public schools, for example, I'll take Munster. If I let my child try to go over there, I have to write a letter to the administration to even consider my registration to have my child attend there. But what I didn't mention is that once she's accepted and she takes their exams, guess what school they're going to go to? The one that's least populated. To me, that means that school is not producing the results I wanted her to originally attend. Okay? So I have a problem. So please, I just really would like to see if you take my options, like I mentioned to you last time I was here, into consideration. I just really want to, I have no problem with her attending East Chicago schools, really. You know, I really have no problem. I don't have a problem with her attending a public school, but I really expect those results seeing that the teachers also, graduated and had their degrees in order to provide that knowledge and that education back to my child. I think every child here in East Chicago deserves that opportunity, okay? And I also would like to see more sports and student council brought back into the elementary schools. And I will agree with the other woman. Please look at Harrison regarding the parking. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Barbara Veronis.
Good evening, board members, Mr. Harding. My name is Barbara Baronis. I reside at 3936 Worth Road, Highland, Indiana. However, I've been a teacher here at McKinley for 23 years. So first of all, thank you for coming to McKinley. Love having you guys here. And my fellow teachers with me. I'm just curious about the school year calendar for 2013-2014. Parents are already asking me if we know when school's going to start next year. Teachers also need to know this information. The last few years, we've been getting the information in August. Teachers need to make plans. Parents need to make plans as far as babysitting, before school care, after school care, pickup, all that stuff. Also for vacations, for parents that have children in the district, they have to put in for vacation, and they like to take vacation when their children are on vacation. So this information is really necessary before we end the school year. In the past, previous to the last few years, we've gotten that information before the school year was up. The last few years, it was, I think last year was in August when they changed the time, and Lincoln had already started school. So then they had to adjust their calendar. I don't want to see that happen again, waiting until August to find out how long my day is going to be, or when my school year is going to start, or when I'm going to get out of school. It would be nice to know. And the parents, again, have been asking me, and I'm like, we haven't heard anything yet. So I said I would bring it up to the board. Also, one of the things we were talking about with the public forum sign-in sheet, if maybe you could possibly take that down right before public forum starts, because sometimes when you're speaking, we may not have a question, but maybe you bring something up that we have to ask something about, or you made us think about something else that, oh yeah, maybe let me ask this. So maybe if we could hold off the public sign-in sheet, not till 6 o'clock, but right before public forum starts, maybe that might be a little better. But thank you so much for coming to McKinley. We hope you come back. And again, as Mrs. Dunn said, thank you to Mr. Monroe for coming to McKinley. We welcome all of you, any of you, if you want to come visit, come want to read a story to the kids, kind of come and see what we're doing. We'd love to have you. Thank you.
Thank you. John Zarlingo.
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the board. I'm John Zarlengo, President of the East Chicago Federation of Teachers, Local AFT 511, and a school social worker at Central High School. I really want to compliment the Top 20 Girls Mentoring Program. That's excellent. We need more mentoring programs in the East Chicago schools. These kids desperately need mentors, positive people in their lives. So whatever we can do to get more mentoring programs, we truly would appreciate that, and we'll try to work together however we can to accomplish that. Also, I do want to compliment Mr. McCollum on his presentation, and we also especially appreciate that teachers were complimented, and sometimes we don't hear that enough, and teachers are working very hard, and appreciate those compliments also from the board. Now, we have some major concerns that we need to continue to address, and first of all, we care very much about the excellence of education in East Chicago and fairness and justice in the workplace. We still are very concerned about the fact that for 4 years the foundations, we've been on suspension, and we've lost out on, probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, and, because of a decision not to return funds which was out of compliance with the Indiana law on protection of grants, and also out of compliance with the foundations, the foundation that unused grants had to be returned. So this has impacted negatively on children, And we need to get that addressed right away. This is just too much funding out there for children that needs to be brought back in quickly. And I think the board it's going to be in your hands to really get that going, and we really ask you to do that. We're very concerned about the climate in East Chicago, the teaching conditions and the learning conditions for children. The Baldridge survey was supposed to have assessed the climate, and it has been in the superintendent's hands for 2.5 months now, and we need to have that information to address what is going on with the school climate, and we're concerned that it's being hidden because it may possibly reflect poorly on the administration. Transparency needs to be valued. We really need that transparency. This information needs to be brought to administrators, teachers, the community, and we need to look at what to do to improve the climate in East Chicago. Now, also about the climate, many teachers are afraid to discuss serious problems with certain principal because they've experienced unfair and very harsh treatment, and this should not happen. Teachers should be able to discuss their concerns with their immediate administrators, but other administrators also, without fear of retribution. Some teachers have been told not to speak at school board meetings by certain administrators, and this is unacceptable. We need to have open discussion to make sure that we are bringing about the excellence of education in East Chicago. We're very concerned about discipline in East Chicago. We think that, and it's an issue that's not so much how it's being implemented, but there's a lack of consequences. We need to have more than just, bring it back to the teachers, call parents, and, having suspension. There's a lot missing in between. We need to have some in-school detention or optional learning opportunities for children so that they don't have to get suspended. Many schools that are successful have these, Friday extended school, in-school, learning opportunities so that suspension is not used. And again, I think administrators are hampered also. One positive thing, I thank the superintendent for responding about discussion of Domain 4, which we've requested, and we do look forward to potential fruitful discussions in that area to try to resolve some problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carlisle Edwards.
Okay, my name is Carlisle Edwards. I'm a resident of East Chicago, 532 Reagan Place. I'm going to reiterate some of the comments that some of my predecessors have made. Every time we open up the school board meeting, we pledge allegiance to the flag. That also means that we're pledging allegiance to the U.S. Constitution, which guarantees the right of freedom of speech. And freedom of speech implies without retribution. So therefore, any school member, any school employee, faculty, staff, or whatever, should be able to address you with freedom of speech without fear of any type of retribution from their employer or immediate supervisor. Number 2, No Child Left Behind was an act that was meant to raise standards, raise accountability, raise responsibility. If any of you do any studies of massive school districts across the country, practically every school district that started an end grade type of concept canceled it within the first couple of years. Because what it does is it lowers the standards, lowers accountability, lowers responsibility, and we are trying to prepare students for college. Do you think college gives them a whole year or a year and a half to make up a grade? No. Do you think college allows you to make up the class in a matter of days? No. Third, climate survey. Some time ago, the school city contracted with Calumet College of St. Joseph and Dan Lowry as the president of that institution to conduct a climate survey of school employees. I believe that over 600 surveys were conducted and the results have been tabulated with a result report. The results of this survey and the corresponding report needs to be released not only to you as a board members, but to the staff and employees of the school city and to the general public who voted you in. If teachers are to be one of your top priorities, if their continued job and climate satisfaction are important to you, as it should be, if a quality education, equitably distributed, is a goal, then you as our duly elected school board needs to review that report and make it available to everyone in order to accurately ascertain what areas need to be improved on, what areas need to be worked on, and what areas that can be praised on, which by default would have a positive impact on the learning environment overall of all the students. It is my understanding that the school city top administrators have already received this report, but for whatever reason is not releasing it. And I believe, as one of my predecessors stated, it could be because they might not like the results of that climate survey. But the results of that climate survey need to be reviewed by you, acted on, so that you can improve the learning environment.
Thank you.
The date and time of next meeting will be announced in a minute. Before I do that, I'd like to ask Trustee Rodriguez, whose district we are sitting in right now, to say a few words. He'd like to compliment some people on their attendance this evening.
Thank you, President, Mr. President. First of all, I'd like to thank the principal for McKinley, Ms. Burgos, for doing such a wonderful job in really putting this board meeting together along with this administration. I'd also like to thank Vice Principal Garcia as well as and his fans, as well as the teachers here at McKinley for doing such an outstanding job here. And it's only going to get better here. And I mean, we're starting to show it with not only the road improvements. I know that's been an issue for most of the teachers, but we're working the best we can in terms of helping you on that. Also, I'd like to thank the parents here in the 2nd District for really coming out and showing their support as well, because your input is always going to be viable to this board, and we're going to be looking at everything with a fine pen and a fine-tooth comb. So please, any information that you have, any concerns that you have, please address it not only to the superintendent, but as well as to our president, so we can continue moving this school administration forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rodriguez. The date and time of our next meeting will be March 27th at 6 o'clock p.m. That's a Wednesday, March 27th at East Chicago Central High School. I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I motion.
Motion to adjourn by Trustee Perez, seconded by Trustee Monroe. Roll call, please.
Trustee Rivera.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Hill. Trustee Winfield.
Yes.
Trustee Morris.
Yes.
Oh, Morris.
Morris.
Sorry.
Trustee Monroe.
Yes.
Trustee Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Ramos.
Yes.
Chairman Gomez.
Yes.